Lord's Path to Planar Conquest Chapter 9, Devour on the Plane. As soon as the 14 true gods of the Kangri plane arrived here, they received the information of the plane's will. Kill Tessis and Satyr at all costs, and destroy the altar. Whoever succeeds will be rewarded handsomely. But they didn't act rashly, not because they didn't want the reward, but because they didn't dare. The current Satra has erupted with the power of the 4th level, and in this case, it is the level of the King of Gods. This is not something they can solve. As time went by, Satra felt that the breath of the void was getting stronger and stronger, and the resistance of the will of the plane was getting weaker and weaker. At this moment, the sky suddenly sounded like the prayers of countless people. The words of prayer gradually became clear. It seems that some kind of existence is beginning to wake up. At this time, the faces of the true gods in the sky began to change. There was fear, reverence, and some relief. They knew that it was the **** king who had awakened. They had never faced the **** king level before, so they didn't know the gap between the true asterisk and the **** king. They have been waiting for the God King to recover without doing anything. The reason for fear is that the awakening of the King of Gods means that they are no longer able to dominate this plane as they were before. In the past, in order to compete for the levers, they fought a lot, and many places on the plane were destroyed by their wars. When the King of Gods wakes up, they will definitely be punished, and may even be knocked down from their *** positions. Just when the hearts of the gods were extremely complicated, the voice of prayer had reached its climax. You are the King of the gods, you rule the world. Come back, the eternal King, Seos. With the end of the prayer, a figure in the sky slowly became clear, and gradually condensed a purple clansman lying flat. As the body condensed, the body's eyes began to open. A dazzling light radiated from his eyes, until the eyes were fully opened, and the light from the eyes shot into the sky, stirring the clouds. The entire space above is somewhat distorted. After a while, the body turned from lying down to standing, and the light from the eyes began to fade. The God King, Seos, of the plane of the sky has officially awakened. Satra also carefully observed Seos, only to see his youthful face, wearing a golden feather coat. There is an indescribable beauty. As the king of the plane, he is the most perfect person in this plane. He exudes an aura that makes people want to worship. When he stood there, all the true gods around him were eclipsed, as if the whole world was focused on him. From him, Satra felt the breath of the master of the same plane, and he must have refined the heart of the plane. Satra thought he was just the son of the plane, the chosen one of the plane of the sky. Unexpectedly, he actually refined the heart of the plane and became the master of the plane. Although both of these situations can break through the boundaries of the secondary plane and reach the 4th level. But the strength is completely different. Listening to the title, you know that one is the son of the plane and the other is the master of the plane. The difference in one word has completely different meanings. A position is under the will of the plane, driven by the will of the plane. One is the master of the plane, and the entire plane runs according to his mind. Fortunately, because of the sacrifice of the altar, Baywang City has been temporarily out of the control of Seos, otherwise it will be the master of the plane. He can directly control this space and suppress Satra. The will of the void has broken through the plane barrier, and the transformation of the void has begun. Alienation is spreading with Baywang City as the center, and the bodies of the residents in Baywang City have also begun to change. Many people have scales or horns on their bodies. As a member of the presiding sacrifice, Tessis began to swell and expand, and his muscles became stronger. The fangs on both sides of the mouth have grown out of the mouth. Looking at the sharp teeth, it is estimated that no one wants to be bitten, and bone spurs have grown on the tail. Overall it feels like a perfect killing weapon, grim but full of strange beauty. The transformation of the void is for better killing, so alienation is basically aimed at lethality and adaptability. You must know that the environment in the void is very harsh, and there is no way to survive in the void without sufficient strength and adaptability. I didn't expect my face to be targeted by the Void Lord. Seos looked at Satra with majestic eyes and said, obviously, as the master of the plane, he still understands the existence of the void. Satra wasn't timid either, even though this was their home court. God King Seos, right? I've admired him for a long time, but I still have to decide on this plane. Humph. Even if you are a Void Lord, you are just the lowest lord, and this is my home court. You are ready to die. Said. A ray of light lit up in his hand, turned into a scepter, and charged towards Satra. Alienation has already begun, and his strength cannot stop the erosion of the void. Seos must fight quickly and destroy the altar. Use this to interrupt the alienation, and then find a way to clean up the power of the void. Satra also showed no signs of weakness. Baywang City has been transformed into a void, and the void is still expanding. Here, his strength can finally exert its greatest strength. When Satra raised his hand, he said, Void Mantra, Flame, and saw a black flame appear in his hand. Pushing his hand up, the flames shot towards Seos, who was swooping in. The flame seemed to be the size of a human head, but Seos felt a deadly threat from the flame, and he sensed that the flame could not be avoided, so he could only continue. He quickly stopped sprinting, and smashed the black fire with the scepter in his hand, only to see a flash of fire, and the fireball exploded directly, scattering in all directions. The god of the mountains, Moog, who was watching the battle not far away, did not hurry to dodge, and was splashed by a trace of black fire. The whole body was instantly ignited, and Moog quickly released a shield with divine power, trying to protect himself, but the flame was attached to the divine shield. And it burned even more vigorously. Seeing this, the accompanying rain *** quickly created water and sprinkled it on Moog's body, but it didn't have the slightest effect. In a wailing cry, Moog was burnt to ashes, and the *** of the mountains fell. At the same time, the statue of the god of the mountains also began to collapse, and there was a sound of crying in the country of mountains. Seeing this, the other true gods felt a chill in their hearts, and immediately stayed away from the battlefield here. In a battle at the level of a *** king, they don't even have the qualifications to watch, and the slightest aftermath can make them fall. Seos didn't have time to save Moog. The black fire summoned by the void mantra was smashed by his scepter, but part of the black fire was attached to the scepter and continued to burn. Seos immediately used the plane authority to directly use space stripping against the flames, and banished the flames to other spaces. This black fire made Seos involuntarily cheer up, and the Lord of the Void really lived up to his reputation. Even the weakest lord can still use such terrifying skills. He didn't rush over recklessly this time, but first blessed himself with multiple layers of shields. Then holding the scepter, he cautiously attacked Satra. Satra didn't want to fight him close quarters. Judging from the appearance of Seos, he should be a warrior type. And Sata has always been practicing towards the mage's side, so let Fenrir do the melee combat. Fenrir, who had long been unable to hold back his desire to kill, rushed to Seos immediately after receiving the order. The two sides started a hand-to-hand battle. Although Fenrir had no weapons, his fangs and claws were no less than any weapons. Sata was looking for an opportunity to cast spells. The battle between the two sides began to get heated. Although it was a 2-on-1 battle, as the master of the plane of the sky, Seos could replenish his energy by absorbing the power of the plane at any time. However, the transformation of Void Will is still going on, which also forces Seos to retreat continuously. After all, fighting in the Void, he couldn't absorb energy. And the combat effectiveness of Fenrir and Sata in the Void will be a level. The battle followed the expansion of the Void, all the way to the border area of the northern wilderness. Sata's purpose has also been achieved. When the Void transformation is successful, Sata's reward will also arrive. A pillar of energy poured directly into Satra in the sky of the northern desert. Satra couldn't help but let out a comfortable moan. This energy is prepared by the will of the Void to reward those who develop territory for the Void, and it can enhance the strength without any side effects. Originally, Satra had just entered the 4th level not long ago, but this energy directly raised him to the peak of the 4th level. This reward is not unreasonably rich. You must know that some lords sacrifice the entire secondary planes may not have such a big improvement. But now, Satra only sacrificed the northern wilderness, accounting for 1/10 of the entire plane. But this award really made Satra a little excited. Also, a plane with abundant resources and complete rules like the Kangri plane is rare. This sudden change made Seos a little flustered. Originally, he could match the power of 2 planes, and even had the upper hand. Originally, he planned to use up Satra's stamina and energy in this way, and then take them down. But now, the energy infusion of the Void has broken the balance. Looking at the aura of Satra, it is estimated that a single person can already match himself, plus a wolf of the same 4th level. Seos already had the idea of retreating, and now his strength is no longer dominant. Although he still controls most of the plane, the level of Void energy is too high. Relying on this 1/10 of the land, Satra is no longer afraid of Seos. Satra watched Seos retreat while fighting. Yu read www.ukanshu.com with a gesture of fleeing at any time, and knew what he was thinking. But Satra couldn't let him escape. After knowing that Seos was the master of the plane, he decided that he must stay at all costs. As long as you kill him, the heart of the plane will inevitably drop, then you can directly control the plane by swallowing the heart of the plane. As long as he sacrifices this plane again, he will definitely be promoted to level 5. Then give the plane cube enough soul to get the 6th level arm's nest. Sata can disdain and stimulate the Void Lord, and even a weaker Star Lord. With a loud bang, Fenrir's claws collided with Seos' scepter. However, it is clear that Fenrir's strength is inferior to that of Os. Fenrir's entire body was smashed and flew out. Seeing this opportunity, Seos turned around and tore open the space, intending to escape first. Satra on the side had expected it. His strength just soared, and the energy of the Void filled his body. Using the Void mantra to read to Seos, in the name of Void, imprison space. This should be put before. Saying this complete sentence with the Void mantra will drain the energy of the Sata, and even deplete the source of life. This loss of life is permanent. In better understanding terms, this is the loss of the upper limit of life, and the things that increase the upper limit of life are precious and rare. But now, Satra feels that his energy is enough for him 3 or 4 times without consuming his life. Leaving this aside, when Seos wanted to tear open the space to escape, Satra used the Void mantra to imprison the space. This Void mantra directly locks the space around Seos. Seos found that his space power was completely ineffective.